Are you a professional personnel, a teacher, a lecturer, a tutor, or a business personnel? Then you are familiar with a resume or a CV, and this special document speaks about us or provides a brief information about us when we are in the job application environment. Now, may I ask you, do you know what a resume is? If you know what a resume is, then you are good to go. If you don't know what a resume is, you are perfectly in the right place, because in this video I am going to theoretically and also practically explain to you what a resume is, and also further we create and design a simple but a professional resume you can use for your job application. So as I said, this document is a brief document that gives out our skills and potentials, and when we get into the application or job application environment, all those potential employers are going to require our resume. So let's jump right in, and theoretically let's learn what a resume is. After that, practically we'll jump onto Microsoft Word interface, and I'm going to show you how you can create a simple but professional resume. What is a resume? A resume is a brief and professional document that tells the skills and potentials you have to potential employers for a certain job. So depending on the kind of job, you create your CV or your resume and apply for that particular job. Now, this document is versatile and useful. Yes, it is very useful and versatile. It is globally used by so many people. As usual, this is also an institutional requirement. Whenever you get into any company, mostly 95% of any institution is going to require for your resume or CV when applying for a particular job. When it comes to creation or design of a resume, there are some key elements you can't overlook. Definitely those elements will appear in your resume, whether you take out some information or you add up some information. But these particular key elements we are going to talk about, or we are going to list out, they cannot be overlooked. Definitely you need to appear them in your resume. And the first one is your personal identification. Definitely you need to provide some identity about you, so that when the employers are going through your resume, they will know who you are and what you are capable of. So definitely your personal identification should be involved in your resume. Now the second one is you need to have some summary qualifications. You need to provide some qualifications about you and concerning the kind of job you are applying for. As usual, you should provide your working experience. Maybe you've worked in other companies from some years to other years. You need to provide those working experience, except if you have not worked in any other company and the company you are applying for is your first time company you are going to work. That is where you can ignore your working experience. But as usual, on the job market, you need to provide your working experience, and this is also another key that should be listed in your resume. The next one is to provide your educational background. You should provide your school that you went, from your junior high school, your secondary school, your tertiary school. You need to provide all of them so that they can know the background of your education. Now, another important element you can't overlook is your personal skills. This is where they are going to look at the skills that you possess, some advanced skills that you possess. Is it going to fortify their company goals and motives? Is it going to help them push further and also make some changes in the company? Yes, you need to provide some convincing personal skills, and actually you should possess those skills and have them on your CV. The next one is you should make sure that all these elements or the creation of your resume should be concise, should be clear, and also it should be relevant. You should make sure that these keywords that I have provided here, you should make sure They are in your resume. They are concise, they are clear, and also they are relevant. When you have such a resume, you are qualified to get your job 100%. Now, this is the theoretical explanation of the resume or CV. Let's quickly jump into Microsoft Word. Let me show you how you can design a simple and, as I said, a professional CV in Microsoft Word. This is an existing Word document that is open, and it was created by Banahene Tutorial Collections. So I welcome you to this particular community on the YouTube platform. We share technological ideas, computing skills. We share some tips and tricks in software such as Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, and also the Windows interface. So if something that you are very interested in it, I would like you to subscribe and be part of this great community. And also, when you watch our individual videos, like, share, and also comment, so that we create that kind of learning platform. Now that this is an existing Word document, I want to create a new Word document using a simple keyboard shortcut. And if you want to learn keyboard shortcut, I have a separate playlist for that, and also I'm going to drop that link in the description below. So I'm going to hold Ctrl+N on the keyboard. This is a new Word document, and what shows that this is a new Word document, when I move to the title bar, I have the name as document 1. Anytime you open a new document, the default name given to it is document, and you have some numbers attached to it. Now that we have this page open, there are some page setup you need to configure before creating a resume. So to do this, we move to the menu bar and click on this layout tab. When you do so, you have the ribbon that corresponds to the layout tab, and then we are going to focus on the page setup group. The first option is to click on size, and in this drop down list I'm going to select A4. That is the most popularly used sheet or page setup that we have in the computing environment. You can choose any of this, but I am going to focus on the A4 sheet. Now that this is done, I'll move back to orientation. You can set to portrait and landscape, and as usual, it is always set to portrait. Then we move to margins. You can set to normal, narrow, moderate. You can choose any of these. You can also go for custom margins. I am going to select narrow. Now that this is done, the next operation is based on power outage. You need to save your document. So I'm going to click on file and then choose save as. You can also use Ctrl+S because this is a new document. I'm going to select the desktop. Then I'm going to type a name for this document. I'm going to leave it as doc1 and click on save. Now everything is set up. What is the first keyword that should come on your resume? You are going to have the heading for the resume. Either you type a resume or you type a curriculum vital. So I'm going to type this particular text. So this is the heading I'm going to have for this particular resume, and this has its own font size and font type. I'm going to change everything. So what I will do is to hold Ctrl+A to select all the content, or I'll move to the home tab. In the editing group, I choose select and choose select all. This is going to select all the text. Then we move back to the font group and then change this to Times New Roman. That is the popularly known font that we normally use. Then I'm going to set this to 16 because that is going to be the heading. Then move back to the paragraph group and choose this center alignment. You can use the shortcut Ctrl+E, and then back to the font group we choose underline. Perfect. Then we click at the end of this text and press the enter key. Now we have the cursor below this heading, and this is going to take all the formatting that we have applied to this particular heading. Now I am going to start my information from the left side, so I'll move back to the paragraph group and choose the left alignment. Now I have a video that explains this particular group. I'll also drop that in the description below, and also the clipboard and also the font group. I'm going to have all these videos linked in the description below. Check it out after watching this video. Now in this section, I'm going to reduce the size, so I'll move back to the fonts group and change this to 14 by using this icon, or you can click and choose 14. Then the second heading, which is going to talk about our personal identification, I'm going to type personal details, and I'm going to make sure that because this is the heading, the caps lock is on. So this is personal details. You press the enter key. Now I'm going to provide information about this particular heading, therefore I don't need them in uppercase, rather I'm going to change them to lowercase. So I'll turn off the caps lock, then also uncheck this underline. But before then, these two headings should be bold, so you select and then choose the bold option. What is the first information that should be below your personal details? And that is your name. So this is just a default text. You have to key in your name because this is for tutorial purposes. I'm not going to input the name of a particular personnel. Just type your name when you are creating your own CV or resume on your computer system. So the first information that is needed under your personal details is your name. The next one is your address. Then the next one is your mobile contact. Now when you are done with this one, there is another item you can add to your personal details, and that can be optional. But sometimes when you go for an interview, it is possible that they are going to ask of your marital status, so you can add that to your CV as well. So concerning the marital status, you can have married or single. You can choose any of them for your particular CV. So I am done with the first key element, which is the personal details. We are moving to the next element, which is also optional, but that is not purposely, or that is not part of the key element when it comes to creating a resume. So I'm going to press the enter key twice, so you can see how I am organizing this particular resume. So what you are going to do is to hold Ctrl+B and also Ctrl+U, because we are going to type the next heading. After doing so, you press the enter key, and then we ignore the bold and underline option. Now under career objective, you can type any occupation or any career you want to find yourself in the next future. So let's make it very simple. So for the career objective, I can have IT engineer or graphic designer. You also have your own career objective. You can add it up to your resume. So we are moving to the next element, and that is also a very key element you should add to your resume, and that is personal statement. That is also known as the summary qualification. So under personal statement, I am going to type a random text, but you know what kind of statement that qualifies you, or the summary qualification that qualifies you, which is going to convince your potential employers to employ you into that particular job. So let's assume that this is the information that talks about me, or that talks about my personal statement. You can see how we are building this simple but professional CV or resume. So now we have the personal details, our career objective, and also we have personal statement. Now that we have the cursor here, let's press the enter key once. We are moving to the next key element, and that is qualifications. Now under qualification, that is where you are going to state a particular year to another year, the school that you attended, and also the kind of certificates that you hold for that particular year. So you make it very simple. So under qualification, I'm going to have these two items and then press the enter key twice. So we are moving to the next key element, and that is professional skills. We can't go away with our professional skills that we possess. So let's assume that under professional skills, these are the skills that I possess. I have some skills for data simulation, also skills for installing Windows, and also having some high skills in Microsoft Word, Excel, and also PowerPoint. You might also have your own skills, and you can replace them with this particular option. So this is our professional skills. If I hold Ctrl+P on the keyboard, you can see how beautiful I have designed this particular CV. So we have the heading, we have personal details, we have career objective, personal statement, qualifications, and also we have professional skills. You can see how we are listing out and making this brief and very concise for our job application. The next element that we need to add is our personal attributes. So this one is also optional, but you should add for them to know who you are and what you possess. Under personal attributes, I'm going to have hardworking, good sense of humor, and also we have ready to learn. I'm going to add another element to my CV, and that is my hobby. So under hobbies, I have playing of football, listening and also singing to music, and also I have reading and researching. This is a very brief and simple resume I have created in Microsoft Word. When I move to the beginning of this document, because I have this in a dark mode theme, that is why I have the text as white and the background as black. But if I hold Ctrl+P, I have it as white background and the text are in the font color of black. So I have my CV, my personal details, then we have the information provided. I have my career objective, we have the information provided. I have my personal statement that also consists of my information, qualifications, personal skills, personal attributes, and also we have some hobbies. So this particular resume or CV, it is very simple, as you can see, and having this attached to your application letter makes it very clear and also very cool to read and understand. And if these potential employers have the interest of employing you in this company, it is possible you get a job. I hope we've learned something new in this particular video. Please like, share, and subscribe to be part of this great community, and I shall meet you in the next tutorials.